Your whole life you make plans. Plans to find that someone special and plans to work toward retirement.
Then something unexpected happens that could ruin it all. Now what's your plan? Call Michaels and Smolak today. We have a game plan, the better game plan.
Of all the hundreds and hundreds of hours of original news content produced out of the CNY Central newsroom this year, boiling it all down to just 5 of the biggest stories of the year demanded a vigorous debate. So I gathered the producing team, most of them behind-the-scenes staff members, who decide the treatment individual stories get in our newscasts every day of the week. From your suggestions on Facebook and Twitter, we boiled down a list of more than 20 stories that generated a lot of interest in 2011 to our exclusive list of the top 5.
It breaks my heart.
You think of a mother, you think of somebody that's there to protect a child, and to think that this mother is accused of giving birth and then callously just putting this little infant in a dumpster, how do you even, that accusation is just so horrible.
The child's mother, Nicole DeJanes, has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and 2 manslaughter charges. Her attorney says she believed the child was already dead when she put it in the dumpster. An autopsy proved that was not the case. Number 4, hail in April, and it ushered in what would be months of wild weather in central New York. Flooding rain shut down a stretch of 81 in Syracuse. Portions of the highway would close at least twice because of too much water during the year. But the biggest weather story of all triggered outrage. More than 100 animals died at this Petco store outside Binghamton. Flooding from one of 2 tropical storms that soaked upstate New York killed them. And it raised questions about why the company wasn't more prepared for the weather.
I would say that was one of the biggest stories that we had comments about this entire year. People were really angry about what happened and the aftermath for the animals, for the company, and it definitely got a big reaction.
Number 3, the adorable photograph of a blonde little girl who loved to dance. You couldn't watch the news during the summer in central New York without seeing the face of Maggy Willcox, who died after a mosquito bite from eastern equine encephalitis.
I remember putting it on the news that day, being from Oswego County myself too. I think it sparked a lot of people to think differently about the mosquito problem. We shouldn't have people dying from that kind of disease in our own backyard.
There have been 3 EEE-related deaths in Onondaga and Oswego County since 2009, and now state leaders are considering new ways to fight it, including faster testing and new detection methods. Number 2, same-sex marriage becomes law in New York State, and the reaction of town clerks here puts central New York on the map in the nationwide debate over gay marriage. Rather than issue marriage licenses to gay couples, Ruth Sheldon quit her job as clerk in Granby. But it's what happened in rural Cayuga County, in the town of Ledyard, that drew the most attention. Clerk Rosemarie Belforti insisted signing off on gay marriage would violate her deep faith. She was challenged come Election Day, but voters re-elected her. It was a story for weeks, making daily appearances in our newscasts.
I honestly cannot count, but it certainly brought the national spotlight to central New York.
And the number 1 story of 2011, the Bernie Fine sexual abuse case, including the phone call, secretly recorded by his chief accuser, talking with Fine's wife, Lori.
I know everything that went on. I know everything that went on with him, including his issues.
The scandal ended Fine's more than 3 decades at Syracuse University as Jim Boeheim's number 2. It launched lawsuits against SU and Boeheim for defamation of character. In short, this story has legs well beyond the abuse allegations.
So many different stories sprung from that. You've got, obviously, advocacy for child abuse victims. You had the huge kind of battle going on between the district attorney's office and the Syracuse Police Department. You have lots of questions being asked of the university in terms of their investigation and if they did the right thing and if it was all proper.
And the Bernie Fine case may prove to be a top story of 2012 as the federal investigation continues. Fine maintains he's innocent, but it will be years to come before the SU basketball program is mentioned and thoughts don't turn to the former associate coach, who late in the year became 2011's biggest story in Central New York.